This is the Hog Central Podcast, sponsored by Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. And now, here's your host, Steve Sullivan.
Welcome to the Hog Central Podcast. If you like the podcast, press that like button or share it, please. A pleasure to be alongside the most passionate former Razorback I know, David Basil, coming off another home run at the Little Rock Touchdown Club.
Yeah.
The great Tim Brown. Glad he's not suiting up since Saturday.
Well, you know, that's why we got him this week, Sully, because of Notre Dame, Arkansas, and he was Lou Holtz's only Heisman Trophy winner. And you know, how many Heisman Trophy winners has Notre Dame had?
I'd say 4.
7.
7. Wow.
He was the last. And,
that is crazy.
Yeah, and one of only 10 guys, Sully, to be in the NFL Hall of Fame and to win the Heisman. Only 10.
Wow.
Pretty, very special guy. Of course, I love Coach Holtz, and he didn't win the national championship. He won the Heisman in '87. Notre Dame won in '88. But he just talked about the aura of Notre Dame and how when you go into an environment like in Arkansas where you've never played, it's a big deal. It's like the Chicago Bears, the Bulls back in the day when you rolled into town when it was a big deal.
It was so exciting when they got on the schedule. I mean,
yes.
This is the game everybody circled. Now we're 4 weeks into the season. Only 4 weeks. And I sense you got a kind of a tired fan base. They're tired of Sam Pittman. They're tired of Hunter Yurachek. They're tired of having potential wins turned into losses. And it's sad that we're 4 weeks into the season and we've got that kind of feeling.
And what's crazy about it, Sully, you make the statement, well, you're 2 plays away from being 4-0, which you are, but that's the problem. There's always that if you do this and not winning, and it's one thing to lose to Ole Miss, you can't lose to Memphis.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, Sully. It was a must-win. You can't lose because the W's are much harder to come by going forward with 6 out of 7 ranked teams.
Sometimes you feel differently a few days after the game. You were very passionate and very convinced that, Sam Pittman was probably out after that Memphis loss.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not. If they start winning games, the problem is I just don't think they can. I don't think the team is good enough to do that. Offensively, I think they can hang around. Defensively, Sully, it's what I saw that first game against Alabama A&M. There's some problems there, and there's no way to get them fixed. I mean, you can be better. But when you've got that mentality, your football IQ is what it is, and you hustle or not hustle like they're doing, hard to change who you are. It's the stripes you have, and they ain't going away.
Sam Pittman said something today that stuck with me when they asked him about the pressure this year. And he said it's no different than the past 2 years. Think about coaching under that pressure, what it's been like for the last 3 years, because after that 4-win season, a lot of people thought he was out, and it's been they made a decision. They didn't want Sam Pittman, really. They didn't have confidence in him as head coach. Now he's lived with that, coached with that each week for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, listen, Sully, it's not an easy job. Then you have the NIL and the transfer portal, but what's so nice about it, you get paid $5 million every year to do that. And so not like he's getting paid $150,000. He's getting paid $5 million. The pressure's still there, all those things, and he's a good guy, and I like him. But that's, here's the deal, Sully. I don't think he's built for this world of college football with NIL and transfer portal. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but I don't think this is where he wants to be. This is when you're our age, who wants to deal with all this money?
You go back to day one when he got hired. It was like a lottery winner. I mean, this was the only possible head coaching job he was going to get with his ties to Arkansas.
And he was enthused about it. I think he was excited about it.
And year 1 was fine. Year 2, he blows up and wins 9 games.
Yeah.
And then things changed. I mean, he hires Jimmy Sexton. It becomes more about money. And here's the question I have. I got a feeling this is going to end sometime this year.
Right. I do too.
And I think the only way it ends well for him is if he comes to some agreement with the University of Arkansas that it's not how many games you've won where your buyout's going to be. If you take a little less money and you initiate the move.
Well, you got one problem. You know who they're dealing with.
Jimmy Sexton, yeah.
And so his life purpose is to get as much money as he can for his client. And here's the deal. Hunter Yurachek came in and was working with Judy Henry and said, I don't want to do any of these contracts where we're rewarding failure. And once Judy went away, it's right back to where, and I'll guarantee you, Jimmy Sexton will make us pay. But you do have that contract clause where, if you're under 500, which could,
I think you'd make a lot of goodwill with fans if you said, we're not going to worry about if I'm teetering above that 500 mark, this is it for me. I mean, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm taking a settlement amount that's fair to the university and fair to me.
Well, you know what makes a difference on that, Steve, is that what really changes your leverage is if Tennessee beats you 60-0.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
or 60-30.
Hey, well, the later you do it, you gamble.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the problem here, and that's why I think he's not going to make it, because we're getting ready to play 7 ranked teams. Not to say I thought it was 6. It's 7 out of 8 ranked teams, and they are good teams. They're better than maybe Ole Miss is is a really good one. But I'm telling you, Tennessee is, oh my Lord, I am not looking forward to playing them in Knoxville. You got LSU, you got a better A&M team. Mississippi State's 4-0, so it doesn't get any easier. And how do you handle this when you're losing every week after every week? You start losing your leverage.
Yeah.
Everybody starts getting mad.
Week by week, you lose your leverage.
Week by week, and then you see people not coming to the games. You saw it with Chad Morris.
I think this Notre Dame game is huge coming into the off week. And the fact, this is not a great Notre Dame team. They're averaging right at 400 yards of offense, and they're giving up 400 yards on defense. Yeah,
it's funny. The Oakland Sports, thank you, Oakland Sports. Oakland Sports app, it's only, 6.5? It's hard to believe.
It's like the last 2 weeks. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and so we played well against Texas last year, but the problem is I just don't think we can stop their running game. I think we might move the ball on them.
Yeah, one plus is they don't have a quarterback who runs.
Yeah,
that kid killed us at Memphis.
Yeah, he did. He was a very athletic, but at the same time too, you had a running back who had 147 yards, including a 60-yarder.
Sam Pittman talked about the tackling today, and he said it was either fatigue in the heat or guys not trying. And you made a great point. The snapshot of that last play where the guy carried our Graffard, who weighs about 400 pounds, carried him about 5 yards. Another play where Xavier Sori was head on with the guy who went 60 yards and froze.
Yeah, he got there. He didn't make, and there was contact, and it was hard for me, the angles that I saw. But bottom line, the running back for Sutton.
That's your best defensive player.
He wins the one-on-one. But you know what's more disturbing to me?
There's no one behind him?
There's nobody that touches him for 60 yards. There's nobody within a frame of, where's the rest of the defense? Where's people running the ball?
Coach mentioned that today. He said there's a lack of support on the defense. He said we not enough guys getting off blocks, running to the ball.
That's exactly what it is,
Well, he's pointing out the problems. Now you got to fix them.
Yeah, but the problem is there is no easy fix.
Yeah.
That's who they are. I'm sure they're fine. Sorry, I got a chance to be around him at SEC Media Days. Nice kid, and looks the part. But I think we missed some of these transfer portal guys that we maybe not miss, Sully. They weren't the starters at Georgia. They were second or third teams, and maybe they come in. There's a reason they were at that.
We all brought it up as a red flag before the season. The coaches ignored it. Mike Washington just running through the defense like it was Swiss cheese in the preseason, these 80, 70-yard runs.
Well, Pittman said at the Touchdown Club, he made the comment. He goes, well, maybe that's not a good thing that Mike Washington's doing that against our defense. And so, and the deal is there's nowhere to go. It is what it is. You're going to be exposed against good offenses, and you can't. It's too late now. That's what I'm saying. There is nowhere to hide. You can make it. You can make it decent. You can make it basic, Sully, and just try to keep everything in front of you. But you still got to come up and make tackles, and you can't play with better heart and effort. You can. If you're not ready to run every play, if you're at it, get off the field and get somebody. Give me a guy that runs to the end of the play. Run to the ball carrier. Be there when help your other guys get up. You've got to be where the ball is when the ball is over with, when the play is over with.
How can you have a defensive coordinator with so much energy and a defense that is not a reflection of him?
That's a great question. And I like Travis, and you're right, but that's a great question. I did see. Did you notice, Sully, when who was it? Neal had the interception.
Yeah.
So he's running down the sideline, and Travis Williams is trying to celebrate with, and the player doesn't even pay attention. He just keeps running. Your coach is trying to celebrate. You don't even notice your coach is running down the field with you. It's just the whole thing is like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I hate to see it. It's because you think about this, Sully. Arkansas's up with 5 minutes to go. Memphis gets the ball on the 6-yard line.
Yeah.
They go 94 yards in a minute and a half.
Yeah, think about this too, though. And the quarterback started with like a 20-yard
That's right,
run.
with a 20-yard run.
Think about this, though. You're up 31-26, and you're on the 20-yard line. You throw an interception. You can make it at least an 8-point game at that point. I mean, just the things that happen. You talk about penalties. 7 penalties for 55 yards. The most irritating penalty, and it could have cost them the game. The 2-minute timeout. They're 2nd and 1. They come out with 12 men in the huddle. And that could have cost him the game. Yeah. That was it's 2nd and 6. Fortunately, they picked up the first down.
Can I tell you how embarrassing that must have been for Sam Pittman? Because he knows everybody in that stadium said, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah. You don't have to know much about football to go, "We've been sitting here for 4 minutes."
Yeah, that was the offense that ran out the field.
I know.
That's probably
I'm just saying it's his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bobby Petrino's losing his mind.
Yeah.
You've had 4 minutes to get that right, and then you come out there and you what? Yeah, that was a bad look.
Yeah, the one question they asked after the game is why Talon Green didn't run more in the second half. If you go back at the end of the first half, about 20 seconds to go, we elected to try to move the ball upfield. Talon rolled out to the left and let go, and he didn't see a safety coming, and that safety just crushed him.
Yeah, I remember that.
And how do you stop a guy from running? You discourage him with hits, and that was a brutal hit.
Well, Sully, also, we've watched it, you and I have together, the last 2 halves of the games, the defenses have been smarter. I keep going, why is nobody not paying attention to number 10? Well, they finally go, listen, don't go anywhere until you are sure that number 10 is not running with the ball. And they were much better disciplined, Memphis was. Now, they ran a couple times, but much better. You saw much less, 9-yard carries every time.
Yeah, average. You seldom just see him get leveled, too. But that hit there.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? He popped right back up.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Yeah. But it'd make you think twice about taking off that next time.
That was a great hit.
Yeah, and looking on the plus side for Talon, he made at least 3 throws. One to Omega Blake down the sideline.
He made some beautiful throws.
Rohan Jones that were just inches away from the defender, and he just dropped him in there.
Yeah, he threw some great balls. He did throw the 2 interceptions, and one of them I was like, what happened?
Didn't see the linebacker.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It's like, how do you miss him? But yeah, he throws for 350. And he was run for 50. I mean, he played good enough to win. Can't have 2 turnovers. Can't have three altogether.
Yeah,
can't do that. That's sort of the difference in the game.
And Mike Washington played well, but it was a head scratcher why Braylon Russell only got 1 carry in the second half. That was probably his best half of his career outside of Tennessee.
If I'm Braylon Russell, I'm going, Coach, what do I got to do?
Yeah,
I mean, they could not stop me. And nothing against Mike Washington, but give the guy, feed the studs, as Coach Petrino likes to say. I'm shocked that he didn't carry the ball more. I didn't know if he did something to make the coaches mad or what, but that was a shocker to me.
Speaking about Coach Petrino, I think a lot of fans would be happy right now if they fired Sam Pittman and made Bobby Petrino the interim coach.
Yeah, they probably would. I just think, too, I think one of the complaints you hear fans talk about Sam is that his demeanor is just a laid back, golly geez, although you'll hear him drop some words, choice words, but you don't feel that burning, and they know Petrino is more like Lou Holtz.
Frank Fletcher, he knows Bobby Petrino. Do you think Petrino is interested in being a head coach again?
I would say Frank and I have not talked about that. I think Bobby Petrino enjoys doing what he is doing now. But let me tell you, once you've been a head coach, you want to continue to be a head coach. I'm just telling you that I'm sure that's what he would like to do if he got the opportunity. Because once you've done that, you know what to do.
Yeah.
So I think he would probably love the opportunity again. Same thing like a Gus Malzahn. I think Gus, even though he likes the time he has, he's a head coach.
Yeah.
And so, you can say, well, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, and he's blowing it up now at Central Florida.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if people want to go down that road. I think Petrino is probably more popular than Malzahn right now in Arkansas.
Well, I don't think that Petrino would get the chance. I don't think.
The university going to go that far?
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
And Hunter Yurchek may not be the guy. Boy, that Little Rock Touchdown Club appearance just changed the outlook on him as athletic director.
It was a bad week from Monday. I'm telling you, I don't know. We've had doing Touchdown Club stuff for 20 years. I don't think we've ever had anything that just this hit wrong. I knew when he said it that it was probably not going to go over well. But I'm telling you, and then you lose this game.
Yeah.
You make the statement, we're not prepared to win a championship, and you prove it. You show it against a team that doesn't have as much money, doesn't have the facilities, doesn't have anything that you have, and you. So you're right. We're not prepared to win.
Plus, when Iowa State played at Arkansas State, they had Big 12 officials. I mean, you're doing these lesser schools a favor with these 2-for-1s with no buyout. Mm-hmm. There was American Conference officials in Memphis. I mean, you don't want to give the underdog, and I'm not saying the officials lost the game for Arkansas.
There were some bad calls, yeah.
Yeah, but you would think you want to give yourself the best chance to win.
I don't know who negotiated that.
It's almost like you're sabotaging your head coach.
Yeah, that's well. They were definitely some missed calls, but you're right. That's not the game.
It's interesting the way life happens. You have Hunter at that touchdown club. It goes so poorly. Then we fail to get into we're late for the press conference, and it's me and you on one wall, and Hunter scrolling on his phone on the other wall.
And then Pittman comes out. And they huddle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should huddle in private, by the way. It was right in the hallway there.
Yeah, Sully, we've been through this. I've been doing this, working with you, 30 years altogether, but doing this to every game, 13 years. And it's just, man, we have seen it with Bielema. We've seen it unravel with Bielema.
Yeah.
Saw it never get going with Chad Morris. Just a disaster.
But there are things that happen, like that bowl game where the fumble rolled all the way up out of the end zone. And then who could imagine that you'd fumble late in two games when you're about to score and win?
And it took monumental effort by the defender.
In both games.
Last drive, minute left on the clock. You're going to win. Let me tell you, we were going to win again. They were not going to stop us.
What bothers me more is that run where Hercules, the backup quarterback, carried our 300-pounder about 7 yards because Arkansas was going to get the ball back with a minute to go, with a timeout to go I don't know if they had any timeouts, but they get the ball at midfield with Taylor Green.
So I'm just going to tell you, Sully, back when I played, if that was our last play, we would have been like your hair is on fire, scratching to get to him. But if you look at the body language of everybody, it's I was like, what is going on? What's going on? The disconnect there. I've always said it, Sully. Football IQ means a lot, and I just don't think this team's got that football IQ and that burning desire, that Grant Morgan type of player, that's just going to fight. I just don't know if they have that. And I think, when you're not really sure what you're doing, that's another thing, Sully. When you're not sure, and maybe you're not the best football player, and you're getting outmatched by, maybe you just mentally get out of it. I don't know.
On the other side, you see teams like Memphis and Ole Miss making that kind of effort at the end of games in desperate situations to win games.
Let me tell you,
it's an indictment on the Arkansas defense there that you couldn't stop that guy.
Go back and watch the defense of Memphis State that last half. Watch how hard they played. Watch them running to the ball. Watch players who aren't there originally that will get there by the end of the play to help for the tackle. That's how you play. And they were better. They looked better disciplined than we did. And even though they're not the fastest or bigger, that was fun to watch them. I was like, wow, those guys are well coached and they didn't make many mistakes. And we don't look that way.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any option as far as on that roster.
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. That at this point, they know who their players are. They were alternating. You had the number 7. They had the other linebacker. You had some other players coming in. Bradley Shaw, and he played decent at times.
Basil has his coffee. He's got plenty of room. He could go all the way to the copier!
Could you not do that today?
Bro, I'm sorry. It's football season. I'm just fired up.
Maybe channel that energy somewhere else, like the Oakland Sports app.
Focus on wagering. I like it. He surveys the app. He calls an audible. He's taking the Cowboys +3. What a bold move! Download Oakland Sports and bet all season long with the best sports betting app in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are your best players. You had those. That's your team.
Sorey and Dick's supposed to be best players.
I know, and they have not. That let me tell you, and I hate it for Sorey, but you missed the it's 1-on-1 right there at the line of scrimmage. He was better than you.
Yeah, and the media tried to give him an out today. They asked, he's been injured. And he said,
"Oh Lord,"
and he said, "No, he has not. He's not
injured." Good for him. That's a young man. I hate it for him because it's embarrassing. Everybody sees it, but also too, where's the backside linebacker? Why are you so slow getting over there? And where's everybody else? But for him, that was a simple 1-on-1 tackle right there, and he lost.
Yeah, great question. Where's everybody else?
I'm telling you, when you can run 60 yards and there's not one red uniform near you, that is a problem, Coach. Let me tell you, if I was Sam Pittman, I'd walk in with Travis Williams and I'd put that film on there and say, let me tell you what, if I see that again, no, you'll be sitting the bench. We'll go with a third string or fourth string who bust their rear end to get to the ball. I mean, it's effort's easy. Effort, you don't have to be great. Yeah. You give great effort. You don't have to be a great athlete. Just give great effort.
What if they win Saturday.
Well, that would be amazing. It would.
It's only a 5-point spread.
I know.
Some 5-7.
Well, with their backs against the wall, you never know what could happen. This offense is good enough to do crazy things. But here's the deal. Notre Dame, I'm afraid, though, Notre Dame still, top to bottom, their roster is a really good roster. I think offensively this is where I struggle. It's our defense.
Yeah.
The defense for me is always I think we can't.
The only plus I see is the quarterback doesn't run. They have a running
but
back
who's an animal. They have an All-American running back who's
my love.
Yeah,
wow.
And if you saw, listen, if that dude from Memphis had 147, this guy from Notre Dame may have 257.
Yeah,
so.
I have flashbacks. Bad years when the Vandy back got like 150 on Arkansas. I know.
Well, you go up and challenge them, crowd the line of scrimmage, and then when they get ready to start throwing on you, just hope that you can cover.
The one plus you have is A&M put 40 on them at South Bend.
Yeah, their defense is not very good. That's what I'm saying. Is that Arkansas can score some points on them.
They need to score in both halves. I mean, that's been a huge issue. People want to give Bobby Petrino a pass for everything, and I understand. You go back to the years they were great. But in the second half, they've scored. You look at it was so easy in the first half. 4 of 7 possessions were long touchdown drives.
Yeah.
You go 0 for 6 in the second half. You punt. You have an interception at the 20. You hit a field goal. You fumble at the end. I mean, it was just it wasn't the same offense. Now you say the defense is making adjustments, but you think that offense that dominated would counter a bit. We watched one series where they just chucked it out of bounds a few times.
Yeah. I think too, Sully. I think there's a mental component to this thing. Is that we had it a little bit under Bielema. We've had it with Sam. Is that we hit cruise control and we don't have that killer, step on their neck, finish it off.
Yeah.
Finish it.
Hey, what do you think for teams blowing? Or having a one-score lead, you would think it would average out that you'd be every year between 40 and 60%, right? Wouldn't you think in a normal program, normal world? But the last 3 years, it's like 15%. You start to think that this pendulum's going to swing the other way. Now I'm starting to think that Sam Pittman may be jinxed. It's Sam Pittman. I mean, you think that, he
doesn't like talking about it.
He doesn't like talking about it, but he's the constant in there. And I don't know why. I mean, he didn't fumble the ball the last 2 weeks, but.
Well, I was telling today on the radio show at the Buzz, I think too, a coach, like for example, Lou Holtz, Sully, there's an edge to Lou Holtz. There was an edge to Ken Hatfield. And so that edge makes you be on, I better make sure I know what I'm doing because I'm getting ready to have my head ripped off. And that little edge makes you better. So when you get in the game, you sort of still have that edge. You've practiced that edge. And so that edge helps you, finish games. And I don't need to, hey, coach didn't need to stay on me. I know what I'm going to get ready to do because we're going to win this game because I'm prepared. We just hadn't had that edge, it seems, at times.
Well, Bobby Petrino has that kind of edge. I don't know what's happened to the offense the second half.
Well, he's where he's at.
He's in the press box.
And so that's one of the things the first game I said, maybe he needs to come back down because we were not motivated as much in the first half against Bama.
I would have loved to see him on the field after the 12-man penalty.
Ask DJ Williams. What he don't want to see is a angry Bobby Petrino with the offense not clicking. So that was my point, Sully, is that maybe they get a little lackadaisical. You don't have that somebody in your face. I don't know.
Well, maybe he'll do that this week.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't want to be the reason. I think deep down he came here to save Sam Pittman's job.
Yeah. And they scored 28 points in the first half. They've done that 4 games in a row.
And they've done it very easily.
Yeah, they make it look easy.
Yeah, and that's what gets, how can you go move the ball so easily and then do nothing in the second half?
I will say this, it's not a great team, but that's a scrappy Memphis team that can make the playoff and make it win that championship in the AAC. So you better come ready to play, is my point.
Yeah.
Is that you're better, but you can't be lackadaisical. You got to be sharp in what you're doing.
Yeah, that game, I can just close my eyes and picture that quarterback. Just, that 95-yard drive, he starts it up from his own 6 with a 24-yard run.
Yeah, scheme-wise, we look at times. I'm trying to figure out the scheme here. I'm like, we're outmatched here, and sometimes it's a scheme problem, sometimes it's an effort problem. But here's the deal, Sully. It's a problem, and that's why I don't think he's going to make it because we just got too many good teams to play, and the defense is just not. Offense will keep us around, but that defense, and we're going to play good teams too.
So the most likely scenario, they play Notre Dame close and lose at the end.
Yeah.
And then you go to that off week.
Yeah.
And that's when the wheels are going to turn.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised if there wasn't some decision arrived at.
Well, okay, what happens if we get manhandled? Notre Dame.
Manhandled. The decision is made for him.
Yeah, you don't think he gets to Tennessee?
It'd get too ugly, I think.
I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to mark the tape. I think Tennessee may score 50 or 60 on us.
Yeah,
I really do. It's going to be tough to stop them if we play defense like we've played the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think this is a must-win game for him in all respects. His leverage, just surviving another week. And I was trying to say today, he did get a little irritated when asked if he talked about the pressure, and he went on about the fans and stuff. And
what do you say?
Just that he reads Twitter and everything. I mean, he can say he's given it up, but he checks it out, and it's bad right now.
Yeah, I just don't. Again, when I said I think he's done, I just don't think. I would love to see us upset him, but I don't think. I mean, could you imagine? The problem is the bounce back game is against Notre Dame, and they're a top 15 Notre Dame team.
I don't think they're 22nd, by the way.
No, 22nd.
But I don't think they're the vintage Notre Dame team.
But I'm telling you, they're still a good team, and it's tough, and it's at home. Of course, that's the other thing. Couldn't we have that a night game? 11 o'clock is not a great atmosphere game, to have Notre Dame. So
yeah, the worst case scenario is the game doesn't go well, and you start hearing the boos late.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose. If you're on defense, you have nothing to lose. Play like it's the last day of your life. Offense, throw everything at them.
Let's put 50 points on them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's have it a Petrino special here.
If Purdue can score 27, we can score 40 on them.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. This game maybe
scored 40 41 in South Bend.
This game could be 55 to 51.
Yeah, there's a reason college football is so hard to pick. When you put that 5.5 point line after watching Arkansas, people would jump on, think Notre Dame's got to cover that line.
Right. Well, and a good thing again, Notre Dame does not throw the ball, you have
a young quarterback
in a great way. So they're going to try to run the ball, which is thank goodness for us.
Yeah, but people who don't throw the ball that much, like Memphis came out chucking it.
Well, you scoot up, you got to stop the run, and they were open. They were Sully. There was one play in one of those zone coverages. There was nobody in the middle of the field. He was just like,
they got fortunate on that wide receiver pass.
Yes, he was open. A horrible pass. Yeah,
he was all.
Yeah, again, 290 rushing. 450 altogether. That's Memphis.
It gets to 290 quick when you get 60 and
that's
20.
Right. And 20
these huge chunks.
Yeah. And again, you're playing a much better competition, and you're playing at home this week. You're playing for pride. You've been embarrassed. You've been embarrassed.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's something to be said. Bounce back games. You can play, crazy. That intensity we said we're lacking, sort of.
Yeah.
When you've been embarrassed and you walk on the field, you might be able to have something that you haven't had the last couple of weeks.
Hey, we'll see something about their character this week.
Yeah.
And what they think of their head coach.
And how hard they fight. Yeah. You can actually measure. You can look at it and see a team fighting, the way they hustle, the way they run the ball. All those things.
Yeah, it's just sad that week 4 we're at this point.
Well, you remember, Sully, I said we're going to find out who we are pretty quick because, once we get to Ole Miss, so we sort of found out defensively who we are, and then it did it again. So I think we know who we are in both sides of the ball. Let's see what makes improvement from here on out.
All right. What's your forecast? How long do you think Coach lasts? Or
I think if that language in the contract is true and they want to say $4 million, they go 4 weeks, which with the bye, whatever that is, and I don't see where they get the win. Maybe we could beat Auburn. Auburn's a good football team. Mississippi State's improved, but I'm telling you, Missouri looks good. You got to go to Texas. You got to go to LSU. You got to go to Tennessee. You got A&M. I mean, I just don't see where the wins are, Sully.
And how about the permanent opponents? They came out today.
I like it. Well, of course, I'm biased.
Your boot game is in there.
Listen, I think that's a fun game. I love it. Of course. So the one that you thought, I thought it was going to be Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I thought we'd get Ole Miss, Texas, and Missouri.
I think they preserved
They did. I thought all of them. Didn't you think it was a better matchup with all the schools?
Yeah.
Texas, OU, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia.
And I did like that they kept the winning percentage was like 10% from schedule to schedule. There was no one that had just a brutal schedule and someone who had an easy schedule.
But I like the way they made sure most of them kept their really long time cool series. Yeah. What do you think? Did you like the LSU ad? I know it makes it tougher.
Yeah, I love the LSU.
But I have
so many great mememories of
Arkansas. There's great tradition there. Yeah,
yeah.
And maybe if this program can get back, that'll be fun again.
And we have good memories against LSU.
Yeah,
even when they were a better team.
We do. I wonder if LSU likes that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I wonder if we'll get back to. I doubt we'll get back to Thanksgiving. I think they're playing A&M, and A&M has the same common opponents we have.
They do?
Yeah, same 3.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so they still have that game. So unless they want to move the.
Not right now, they would not. Yeah.
Yeah. That was so much fun the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was
so many great memories.
So we get rid of Lane Kiffin and pick up Brian Kelly at LSU.
Yeah.
And you get Missouri. Listen, Missouri's tough.
Yeah. Now that guy, he just continues to win.
I'm telling you, I don't look forward to playing those guys because we've not beat them once in 9 years.
Yeah, that's the feeling too that Arkansas should be better than Missouri. We've got better facilities, better tradition.
We've said that for a decade now.
Yeah.
We've won one time in 9 years.
Yeah. Whose idea was it to start the trophy?
It wasn't mine. It wasn't mine.
You just constructed the trophy.
I was asked to build a trophy. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. All right. This will be another fun Saturday. You never know when you buckle up there.
I think it's cool. Listen, history.
Yeah.
Never played Notre Dame.
And any quick Lou Holtz story before we leave here? You played for him.
Well, my favorite all-time story.
1981.
Yeah, that's it. When nobody thought we would win, Sully.
Yeah.
Texas was number 1 in the nation, and even Aaron Parseghian, who was at Notre Dame, had been a coach, was a broadcaster, and the word is he had told Frank Broyles, I hope you guys can keep it close.
Yeah.
And so Lou Holtz comes in the locker room before we run out there in the field. He said, Ben, when the national media comes in this locker room after the game is over, you tell them this was not an upset. Let's go. And it was 21-0 at half.
Yeah.
42-11. We
Yeah.
embarrassed them.
I got to run some highlights there when I was doing Gary Anderson.
Oh, a great game he had.
Yeah. And
They fumbled on the first snap, I think, and we did.
The way he used Gary Anderson too, getting him out of the backfield.
Yeah.
What a threat he was in the passing game.
Master class by Lou Holtz. That's the big games. He was so great at it. And he's going to the game. He's coming to the game.
Yeah, you know how he told Tim Brown after 2 practices that he thought he'd be a Hall of Famer.
How about that?
And how he told Gary Anderson when he signed him that he wasn't going to be a traditional back because he wasn't big enough to take the banging, and he used him in the backfield. It probably saved his career.
Yeah.
You know, made him an NFL back, and Gary became such a good receiver, had like 80 receptions 1 year as a pro.
Yeah, it's so I'm glad Lou will be up there for that. What a cool historical connection between those two.
Yeah. It's pretty wild that Lou Holtz had a good run at Arkansas.
Sure did.
Yep, you got to play for both Lou Holtz and Kenny Hatfield.
Yeah, two distinct, different kind of coaches, but both were great in their own way.
Yeah.
And we knew Lou was one of the greats. He obviously goes on to win the national championship at Notre Dame.
But think about the quality of coach back then. You know, and nothing against Sam Pittman, but you go from Chad Morris to Sam Pittman. Back then, you're going from Lou Holtz to Ken Hatfield. I mean, think about it.
I'll tell you, excellent. I'm so blessed to have played under good coaches, Sully. Yeah. And then defensive coordinators. I had really good defensive coordinators too. So really good. And you know what? I had great teammates. They recruited good players. And that's why, you know, it's not, Sully, it's sometimes not the measurables. It's the measurables between the ears and the heart.
Yeah, they say too, though, if you're going to win in the SEC, you have to have NFL players on your roster.
You do. But those NFL players have to be good football players.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's not just the way you look. And if you run a 4-3 and you don't know how to play football, you look the part and you have measurables. But if you're not a good football player, you're not going to win. And so we've got guys that look the part, but they're not playing great football.
All right. I was worried about you after last Saturday's game. You were pretty down.
Yeah, well, it is. Listen, you know, I had to talk about this for 20 hours every week, and then you got the touchdown club, and so I've been through this. I've been through it.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I've been through this with multiple coaches.
You get sucked in with
and I hate it.
Those first halves.
And I hate the fans are mad and unhappy. I hate the coaches are getting.
And then you got to look at Coach Pittman after the game and his wife. And Hunter Yurachek.
And the players are trying. They don't know what to say. Players are trying to figure out. I don't know why
they always stick the same two. It's Taylon Green and Cam Ball get stuck.
And what are they?
Every loss.
They don't know what to say.
No.
He goes, oh, I think we were too aggressive on tackling. Well, everybody got mad at him.
Yes.
He's just trying to think of something to say. He didn't know what the deal is.
Oh, I vote they don't even bring out the players after losses.
I know.
And the reality is the game is so close that all the bad things come out on the Arkansas side, all the good things come out on the Memphis side, and they were so close to losing.
You hang on to the ball, and 2 weeks in a row, and you're 4-0.
Yeah, I would make them carry around a football around campus. The guys who have fumbled, the two of them, just as a sign.
You know how bad they feel. Oh my God!
Yeah, Mike Washington. You could tell the kid was giving extra effort in that final drive.
It was truly,
he was shredding that defense.
It was. Let me tell you, he got hit by the first guy. Great play by Memphis. Then the backup guy comes in there and this extraordinary play to go under that low and to punch that ball out, and then to get around and get it.
Yeah, it was sitting under Washington. Washington didn't realize he lost it.
Great effort. Great play by that Memphis player.
All right, good stuff. Who's at the Touchdown Club next week? Craig James?
Craig James, the other half of the Pony Express.
Yeah, you're just churning them out. Great guess.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Hog Central Podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Hog Central Podcast. New episodes drop Tuesday on YouTube or listen on the go. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every major podcast platform.